You weren't expecting it. It was just another morning, another moment in front of the mirror, where the familiar rhythm of your hand reached for that trusted lipstick you've worn for years. You applied it with the same gentle care, the same nostalgic grace, thinking nothing of it until the reflection stared back like a stranger. Suddenly, the lines around your lips seemed deeper. The skin around your chin appeared looser. You blinked, leaned closer, and for the first time, noticed shadows and textures you swore weren't there yesterday. Could it really be the lipstick? Or was it something more? In this video, we're not just talking about a cosmetic mishap, or unraveling how one shade of lipstick could expose hidden truths about your skin, your health, and perhaps even your heart. And what you're about to discover might just change the way you see yourself and care for yourself. For there comes a moment quiet and unannounced when a simple glance in the mirror feels different. You swipe on your usual lipstick, the same soft coral you've worn for years, and suddenly, something feels off. It's not the color, it's not the reflection, it's what you begin to notice, what was once hidden and now stares back at you with unnerving clarity. The tiny lines around your lips, the faint sunspots that seem a little darker, the loose skin beneath your chin that catches the light in ways it never used to. This isn't vanity, it's revelation. A simple lipstick shade has become a spotlight, casting a cruel truth on the quiet transformation your skin has endured through the years. And it's not just makeup. It's biology, time, and the silent wear of days lived fully. What you're seeing is more than surface. It's the mirror whispering what your body has been trying to say for years. That your skin, like your joints, your muscles, your bones, is aging more subtly, more silently than you realized. But how did it come to this? And why does it take something as trivial as a lipstick shade to uncover a truth so profound? The truth is, the skin after 60 does not scream for attention, it fades. It loses collagen, the protein that once made it plump and elastic. It thins, dries, and forgets how to heal quickly. Years of sun exposure leave behind tiny battle scars, freckles that never fade, broken capillaries that bloom like red threads across the nose, shadows under the eyes that deepen with every restless night. And still, we live as though time doesn't matter until the color of a lipstick unmasks it all. This tiny cosmetic choice can suddenly magnify everything we didn't notice or chose to ignore. Harsh reds make our lips look thinner. Pale pinks make the yellow tones in our teeth scream for whitening. Browns drain the face of warmth. And just like that, what once made us feel young and vibrant now feels like a cruel trick, revealing what gravity and time have slowly sculpted beneath our skin. But before despair takes hold, realize this. What the lipstick reveals isn't a flaw. It's a message. Your body is talking to you, begging not for beauty, but for care. Because skin that begins to wrinkle and sag isn't weak, it's warning. Warning that hydration has slipped. That nutrients vital for elasticity like vitamin C, E, zinc, and omega-3 are dwindling. That the nightly glass of wine, the forgotten sunscreen, and the skipped moisturizers have taken their toll. And when your lipstick suddenly exaggerates your age instead of hiding it, it's your skin pleading, feed me better, protect me more, love me as I am. Many older adults dismiss skincare as vanity, a habit for the young, but the skin is your largest organ, your first line of defense against infection, UV damage, and inflammation. Its condition is a reflection of your inner health, especially after 60. That unexpected moment when you realize your lipstick no longer flatters you is the same moment you should pause and ask, what has my body been going through behind the scenes? You see, skin doesn't age alone. It ages with your liver, your gut, your hormones. Every dark spot is a map of past sunburns and oxidative stress. Every fine line a tally of years with low collagen production. Even that sudden puffiness or sag near the eyes could point to kidney stress or fluid imbalance. The skin, in its wisdom, broadcasts messages you may have ignored until a simple stroke of lipstick dragged them into the spotlight. It's not a cosmetic problem, it's a biological reminder. And ignoring it is as dangerous as ignoring a limp or a lingering cough. Aging skin needs nourishment. It needs blood circulation, massage, hydration, antioxidants, and above all, attention. But Most of us only give it a passing glance until something a photograph, a magnifying mirror, or yes, a lipstick forces us to reckon with reality. But here's the uplifting truth. Awareness is power. That lipstick may have exposed the flaws, but now you know. You can choose better. You can start small, switch to hydrating lip products with light reflecting pigments that soften rather than harshen. But more than makeup, rethink your routine. Feed your skin from the inside leafy greens, colorful fruits, walnuts, salmon. Start walking. More movement oxygenates your blood and brings glow back to your cheeks. Sleep well, because growth hormones released at night are the secret to cellular repair. And most of all, embrace your skin not as a canvas to conceal, but a living map of your story. Those lines, they are laughter and loss. Those spots, sun-kissed days of youth. That loose skin, it's lived, stretched by babies held, by years weathered, and while the lipstick may point it all out, you can reclaim the narrative. So the next time you feel discouraged because a cosmetic reveals more than you wanted to see, pause. Let it be a reminder not of what you've lost, but of what you still have power to preserve. You're not helpless. You're informed. And that knowledge delivered unexpectedly through a tube of lipstick is a gift, not a curse. Because from now on, you can use that mirror as a checkpoint, not a punishment. You can turn that moment of surprise into a lifelong habit of care. You can age with grace, wisdom, and dignity, not in denial, but in celebration of the life your skin has sheltered. This is not the end of beauty, it's the beginning of seeing health where once you only saw flaws. And just as the mirror speaks when the wrong lipstick shade hits your lips, the colors we surround ourselves with, those we wear, apply, and even choose in our environment hold more power than we ever imagined. The truth is, color is not just seen, it's felt. It manipulates light, emotion, and the way others perceive you, and more dangerously, how we begin to perceive ourselves. That lipstick wasn't betraying you, it was obeying the laws of optics, the subtle dance between pigment, shadow, and skin tone. It's a language your body knows, even if your conscious mind doesn't. Certain colors, those too dark, too pale, too saturated, don't just sit on the surface. They cast shadows where none should be, deepen lines that barely exist, and drain vibrance from a face that still holds joy. And this becomes a kind of magic trick, an illusion where you begin to believe your skin is worse than it truly is, where what you see is more lighting than reality. It is in this way that many older adults unknowingly sabotage their appearance and their confidence. A lipstick too matte draws attention to lip creases. A foundation a shade too warm makes age spots more pronounced. A blush placed too high under harsh lighting gives the illusion of sagging. Suddenly, the person staring back at you feels foreign. But it's not aging, it's reflection, refracted through misunderstood choices. And yet, the beauty industry rarely tells this truth. They sell pigments, not perspective. They sell bold reds and plums that look radiant on models under professional lighting, but feel cruel and unforgiving under your bathroom's yellow bulb. No one warns that a cold pink might turn your complexion ashy. That certain undertones in makeup don't just sit there, they compete with the natural warmth or coolness of your skin, exaggerating every deviation from youthful glow. But this is where the story turns. What if, instead of fearing these reactions, you saw them as clues? What if the color that betrayed you became the teacher that guided you? Imagine understanding why that coral shade suddenly looked dull. It's because your skin's natural undertones have shifted, subtly, over time. Hormonal changes, blood flow, hydration levels, they all affect how your skin interacts with color. You are not static, and your beauty habits shouldn't be either. When you learn the visual language of color, you don't just hide flaws, you highlight health. Choosing the right tones can instantly lift your face, soften lines, and even correct visual signs of fatigue or stress. A warm rose lipstick might bounce light off your lips, making them appear fuller. A cream blush in the right peach tone can mimic the freshness of youth more than any injection or cream ever could. And here's where science enters the scene, far beyond beauty counters and magazine covers. Studies in color psychology reveal that we make unconscious judgments about health and vitality based on facial coloration. Skin that reflects certain warm hues is interpreted as youthful and vibrant. Skin that appears grayish or shadowed is read as tired, aged, or even unwell. This isn't vanity. This is biology and survival instinct. Or brain assesses others' health based on facial cues before a word is spoken. Which means the wrong makeup isn't just a fashion mistake. It can influence how others treat you, how they empathize with you, how they respect you. Even more crucially, it shapes how you treat yourself. When you look in the mirror and see tiredness 7, if it's just a trick of color, you move through your day differently. You may skip social events, you might speak less, smile less. Slowly, confidence erodes. But it doesn't have to. By understanding how certain pigments interact with aged skin, you gain back control. Just like a soft filter on a camera, the right lipstick or blouse color can soften age lines, warm pallor, and reflect vitality. And this doesn't mean hiding who you are, it means presenting yourself in a light that is true, kind, and empowering. It means choosing dusty roses over chalky pinks, rich berries over harsh reds, warm tops over flat browns. It means knowing that shimmer in moderation can mimic youthful glow, but too much makes texture stand out. It means asking the mirror not just, how do I look, but what is this color telling me? Because every pigment you put near your skin is either amplifying your light or stealing it. This lesson goes even deeper when we realize that the way colors reveal skin flaws is also how they reveal deeper imbalances in our health. When a color makes your skin look yellowish, it could be reflecting a buildup of toxins in the liver. If it draws attention to dullness under the eyes, perhaps your kidneys are overworked or sleep is lacking. If redness around the nose and cheeks seems exaggerated, it could point to inflammation or poor circulation. These aren't aesthetic flaws. These are signals. And ironically, it's often makeup meant to mask that unmasks what's happening inside. What began as a search for beauty becomes a diagnostic tool, but only if you pay attention. So next time you put on that lipstick and feel disappointed, don't reach for a wipe, reach for awareness. Ask what your skin is trying to say. Is it dehydrated? Is it reacting to something you ate or didn't eat? Is your gut healthy? Are you sleeping deeply enough for cellular repair? Is your circulation poor from lack of movement? Each visual cue is a breadcrumb, leading you not just to better makeup, but to better choices, better habits, better living. Color becomes your ally, not your enemy. But you must be brave enough to listen, to see not flaws, but feedback, to recognize that aging isn't betrayal, it's conversation. And perhaps, in the end, this is the real gift of that startling moment with the lipstick, the power to see again. Not just what's changing, but what's possible. You may not have the same collagen you did at 30, but you have more wisdom. You may not suit the neon reds of youth, but you can radiate dignity and grace in the earthy tones of experience. You have the chance to reclaim the brush, to paint yourself not with denial, but with intention. You can use color as medicinias, signal, support, and strength, because the mirror does not lie. But it can be softened, not by fantasy, but by understanding. And just when you think the story ends with what the mirror reflects, you begin to realize that the signs aren't only skin deep. No color, no cream, no lipstick can completely mask what the body is trying to whisper through every pore and wrinkle. Because dryness through dryness is not a cosmetic inconvenience. It is a cry from within. When your skin starts to flake like paper, when it no longer bounces back with even the lightest tug, when it begins to feel tight, as if your own face is slowly shrinking under invisible tension, that is no accident. That is your body waving a red flag. Because a lack of elasticity is not just aging, it's the absence of vital materials. And that absence starts from the inside, not from the bottle. Skin at its healthiest is a sponge of life. It holds water. It glows not because of makeup, but because the cells beneath it are brimming with moisture, with collagen, with vitality. But as the years pass, your skin's ability to hold that moisture weakens. The epidermal barrier thins. The oil glands shrink in size and number. The collagen scaffolding, once tight like a drum, loosens like a forgotten rope. And if you aren't actively feeding your body the ingredients to rebuild that structure, then every year carves deeper grooves, and every smile you once loved is a permanent signature. But here is the twist. No one tells you this is not irreversible. This is not fate carved in stone. It is a puzzle that can still be solved with the right tools, the right fuel, the right attention. You see, your skin is the first place to suffer when your body is missing something. It is the least essential organ in terms of survival, and so when your system begins rationing nutrients, it takes from the skin first. When water is scarce, your body sends it to the brain, the kidneys, the liver, never the cheeks. When protein is limited, it preserves muscles and organs before collagen. That means what you see in the mirror-parched skin, paper-thin texture, suggests a reflection of deeper scarcity. Often, it starts with hydration. Most older adults unknowingly live in a state of low-level dehydration. They drink less not from neglect, but from a faded sense of thirst. But without water, your skin cannot function. It cannot flush toxins. It cannot lubricate its own surface. It cannot heal. You may think a lotion can solve this, but how can you water a tree only at the leaves and expect the roots to thrive? The story goes deeper still. Vitamin C, for instance, is one of the most powerful building blocks of healthy skin. It supports collagen synthesis, protects against sun damage, and promotes healing. But in aging bodies, absorption slows, digestion weakens, and stress, whether physical or emotional, burns through vitamin C like dry grass to flame. So unless you're consciously replenishing it through oranges, kiwi, bell peppers, or gentle supplements, your skin is starved of its most vital ally. Then there's zinc, a trace mineral often forgotten, but essential in tissue repair and inflammation control. Without it, wounds linger, red patches flare, elasticity disappears. And omega-3 fatty acids, those delicate oils found in walnuts, chia seeds, and salmon air, the moisture bridges inside your cells. They are what keep the skin plump, supple, smooth. Without them, your face begins to crack, not from age, but from neglect. Yet, many older adults chase the wrong solutions. They spend on creams promising miracles, unaware that their diet lacks the very nutrients those creams pretend to deliver. They trust advertisements more than their own bodies. But no serum can restore what your plate forgets. No cosmetic can replicate the harmony of a well-fed body. Real skincare is internal care. If your hands are cracking, ask what you're missing, not what brand can hide it. If your face is sagging, ask whether your meals contain proteins and healthy fats, not just flavor. If your neck has lost its firmness, question whether your days are hydrated or spent with dry toast and black coffee. This is where the journey becomes empowering. Because you don't need to fight aging, you need to feed it, support it, work with it. You can start small. Begin with water. Add 2 more glasses a day, not in gulps, but in gentle, regular sips. Let your body relearn the rhythm of hydration. Add color to your meals, not in sauces, but in produce. The richer the hue of your fruits and vegetables, the deeper their nutrient density. Think of your skin like a garden. If you want it to bloom, you must water the roots, nourish the soil, protect it from harsh winds and excessive sun. That means not just food, but habits, sleep, movement, protection from UV rays, time away from stress, which depletes your body of vitamins as surely as disease. The great lie of modern marketing is that youth lives in a bottle, but those who age with beauty are those who live in balance, who eat to rebuild, not just to fill, who drink to renew, not just to quench, who know that the softness of their skin in winter is not a gift of lotion, but of consistent internal care, who understand that plumpness is not always fatigue, it's hydration, elasticity, and tissue that has been fed from within. When you reclaim your diet, you reclaim your reflection. Not as a desperate chase for lost youth, but as a declaration, my body still matters, and I still deserve to be seen. So the next time your skin feels foreign, do not panic. Do not rush to the store. Sit with yourself. Ask your body what it's been missing. Trace back through your days. Did you drink enough water? Did your meals contain life or just convenience? Have you moved enough to let blood and oxygen reach your face? Are you sleeping in restoration or simply exhaustion? These are not cosmetic questions. These are biological truths. And answering them is not just about looking better, it's about aging with power, with insight, with intention. Because at the end of the day, dry skin is not the villain. It is the storyteller. It tells you where you've been neglectful. It invites you to listen, to change, to grow. The cracks on your hands, the roughness along your jaw, the tightness in your cheeks, these are not signs of decay. They are signals. And if you respond, not with fear, but with love, your body will respond in kind, your skin will soften, your confidence will bloom. And the mirror, once a place of dread, becomes a place of dialogue, of connection, of hope. But even when the body begins to respond, when the dryness softens and the glow slowly returns with each glass of water and each carefully chosen meal, there remains one battle that no cream or carrot can conquer so easily: the quiet war in the mind. Because sometimes, the greatest weight a person over 60 carries is not on their back or knees, but in their chest. The burden of watching the self they remember dissolve into someone they barely recognize. The face in the mirror no longer smiles with the same curve. The eyes seem smaller, the skin less firm, the light dimmer. And the question that echoes, though never spoken aloud, is perhaps the most painful. Where did I go? This emotional reckoning is more than sadness. It's a fracture in identity. For decades, you were the caregiver, the decision maker, the vibrant presence in every room. And now, with each passing year, you feel yourself shrinking, not just physically, but socially, emotionally, existentially. When your skin begins to sag and your steps slow, the world treats you differently. Cashiers talk louder, strangers look past you, even loved ones sometimes treat you as fragile before you feel that way. The mirror, once a place of confidence and familiarity, becomes a silent critic. It reflects not just wrinkles and spots, it reflects fear, the fear of invisibility, the fear of becoming irrelevant. And in this haunting transformation, the smallest thing, a lipstick shade, a photograph, a comment from a child can unravel weeks of strength. Because aging is not just biological, it's emotional. And yet, no one warns us of this kind of grief, the grief of changing without your consent. You are still you inside, still passionate, still clever, still alive, but the outside world only sees lines, silver hair, slower steps, and over time, you begin to internalize their gaze. You start to doubt your beauty, your worth, your place. You avoid cameras, you lower your voice, you turn your head slightly when speaking so they don't see your profile. You shrink in posture, not because your bones demand it, but because your spirit does. And this erosion of self is far more dangerous than anything happening under your skin. It is this emotional battle that leads many older adults to give up altogether. What's the point? They whisper. No one notices anyway. They stop taking care of their skin, not out of laziness, but because the pain of seeing the decline feels unbearable. They abandon their routines, their colors, their expression, their joy, because it hurts more to try and fail than to stop trying at all. But in doing so, they surrender the very thing that could save them: dignity. The mirror doesn't just reflect your image, it reflects your fight. And giving up is not peace, it is silence. But here is where the power returns, because within every wrinkle lies a story. Every line etched into your face is not Shamite, is legacy. That crease above your brow, years of thinking, planning, protecting. The softness around your eyes, thousands of smiles, tears, moments of human depth. The silver in your hair, a lifetime of seasons past. You are not fading, you are evolving. And while society may not celebrate this evolution, you can, you must, because the only antidote to the grief of physical change is the joy of spiritual recognition. This is why caring for your appearance is not vanity, it is resistance. It is reclaiming your reflection. It is standing in front of the mirror and saying, I still belong. And when you choose to nourish your body, to wear the colors that suit your soul, to sit tall even if it aches what you are really doing, is declaring war against invisibility. You are telling the world, I am still here, I am not done yet. And that declaration, made daily in quiet moments, builds resilience stronger than any bone. So how do you begin to heal the emotional wounds of physical aging? You start by remembering who you are. You write down the names of those you've cared for, the meals you've made, the tears you've dried, the lives you've shaped. You surround yourself with photos of your younger self, not to mourn her, but to remember she still lives inside you. You pick one small ritual each morning, a splash of rose water, a favorite scarf, a pair of earrings, and let that be your ceremony of self. Not for others, for you, because the act of seeing yourself, really seeing yourself, is the foundation of self-worth. And you speak. You speak to friends, to family, to strangers. If need be, you talk about the grief, you name it. Because when you speak of the sorrow, it loses power. The silence is what lets it grow. But spoken aloud, your fears become invitations for understanding, for connection, for empathy. You will be shocked how many others feel the same. That they too cry silently after brushing their hair. That they too hide from the mirror. That they too need permission to feel beautiful again. This is why we must create new rituals of aging. Not just the creams and pills and routines, but emotional anchors. Music that uplifts. Walks that reconnect. Clothes that express, even as the body shifts. And most importantly, the discipline of compassion toward ourselves. Because there will be days when the mirror feels cruel. Days when you long for the face you once had. On those days, be gentle. Choose comfort. Choose softness. Wrap yourself in a sweater that makes you feel warm inside. Light a candle and sit with your breath. Let the ache pass like a storm, because it will. It always does. In time, you will begin to see the power in your reflection. Not because the lines vanish, but because the meaning behind them becomes clear. You are not less, you are more experienced, more seasoned, more real. And the skin that once betrayed you now becomes a badge, a visible testimony to your survival. And as you learn to see yourself anew, the world begins to follow. They notice your grace, your presence, your wisdom. And when they don't, you still do. Because the true purpose of the mirror is not to judge beauty. It is to reflect truth. And the truth is this: you are still becoming. Aging is not a slow death, it is a different kind of bloom. And if you water it with kindness, with pride, with purpose, you will rise again. Not like before, but in a way that holds even more light. Let your reflection be the proof, not of what time has taken, but of what you still have to give. And now, after all the emotion, after all the reckoning with self-image, there emerges a curious realization, one that might shock you at first, but then gently open your eyes. The mirror was never your enemy. The lipstick was never mocking you. The harsh light that showed every crease, every blotch, every hollow was not betraying you. They were warning you. They were trying to save you. Because what if the very things you dreaded, the too bright mirror, the makeup that made your skin look worse, the accidental glance at your reflection in the shop window were not curses, but clues. Not signs of decay, but tools of detection. What if every shadow you saw, every flaw revealed under certain lights, was your body's way of whispering, look closer, something's changing, notice me before it's too late. That patch of dryness that never seems to smooth, no matter the cream that could be your liver calling out. That new indentation at your temple, where the fat has receded ever so slightly, that could be the first quiet sign of muscle loss or nutritional deficiency. The yellow hue around the mouth, suddenly more visible under cool lighting, that may not be agate, could be your gut, your gallbladder, your diet screaming through the layers of your skin. The bags under your eyes that no concealer can hide might be more than tiredness, they might be kidneys working overtime, or your heart pleading for rest. These are not beauty problems. These are biological markers. And when your bathroom light reveals them, when your lipstick enhances them, when your mirror refuses to flatter you, should not feel shame. You should feel grateful. Because your body, even as it ages, is still trying to communicate. It hasn't given up on you. It's still sending signals. The question is, are you listening? Modern medicine often dismisses surface signs as cosmetic, trivial, but ancient wisdom from Eastern medicine to ancestral healers knew better. They looked to the face as a map. A yellow cast on the skin meant imbalance. Redness in the cheeks meant inflammation. Blue-tinged lips suggested circulation trouble. The eyes were the window not just to the soul, but to the liver, the kidneys, the heart. Your reflection has always been a report card, delicate, nuanced, and far more honest than most tests. But in our rush to cover, to correct, to conceal, we've forgotten how to read it. We paint over the warning signs, silence the messengers, and only listen when a symptom becomes pain. But pain is always the last to arrive. The skin speaks first. This is why your bathroom mirror, unfiltered and unforgiving, is not a cruel judge. It is your first line of defense. That harsh overhead lighting that makes you sigh in dismay, it reveals what soft lighting hides: dehydration, loss of elasticity, dullness. But rather than fear that moment, you can use it. Make it your ritual. Stand in front of it each morning, not just to groom, but to observe. Ask questions. Is my face puffier today? Am I more pale than usual? Are my lips dry despite drinking water? Is one eyelid drooping more than the other? These are not cosmetic details, they are internal status reports. The face reveals what the body cannot say aloud. And if you catch these whispers early, you can intervene before they scream. Even your cosmetics become diagnostic tools when used mindfully. That foundation you used to love that suddenly settles into cracks, that's not a product problem. That's your skin telling you it's parched or losing structural support. That blush that no longer sits evenly on your cheekbones, your facial muscles may be weakening or shrinking from lack of use. And when your eyeliner starts to skip across creepy eyelids, it's a nudger reminder to check your sleep, your hydration, even your hormone levels. Cosmetics, in this way, become more than decoration. They become an extension of awareness. You apply them, not to hide, but to observe. Not to fake youth, but to understand where your attention is most needed. This transforms everything. The mirror becomes a conversation, not a confrontation. The lighting becomes a spotlight for self-care, not self-loathing. And your makeup bag becomes a toolkit not for illusion, but for illumination. You stop dreading the truth. You begin embracing it. Because when you can spot the hollowness under your eyes before the doctor points to malnutrition, when you can feel the slight unevenness in your smile before anyone notices nerve issues, when you see the faint blotch across your cheek and choose to check your blood sugar before it spirals, you become the healer of your own body. And that, my dear viewer, is real power. Of course, none of this happens overnight. It takes retraining your relationship with your reflection. It takes courage. The kind of courage to stand before your mirror under clear, brutal lighting and say, "Let me see all of it." And then, instead of recoiling, you breathe. You nod. You write it down. You change one thing that day. A glass of lemon water, a 10-minute walk, a switch from processed meat to steamed fish, a phone call to a friend who makes you laugh. Because emotional toxins show up on your skin too, and every positive changeno, no matter how small, ripples outward. The next morning, your eyes are a little less heavy. Your skin has a little more color. The mirror shifts from a battlefield to a window of hope. You begin to understand that aging is not something happening to you, it is something happening with you. You are in dialogue with your body now. You are the reader of signs, the interpreter of shadows, the seeker of meaning. And each wrinkle is no longer a wound, it is a word in your body's great poem. The mirror is the page. The light is the ink. Your face is the story. And every morning you get to read it again, change a line, correct a paragraph, add something beautiful. Until one day, not long from now, you will look into that same mirror and smile, not because the lines are gone, but because you finally understand them. You no longer fear what you see, you trust it. Because now, the harsh lighting doesn't scare you, it guides you. The unflattering shade of lipstick doesn't offend you, it informs you. The mirror doesn't make you shrink, it makes you rise. You've learned to see beyond the surface. You've reclaimed your role, not as a victim of aging, but as a steward of your health. And perhaps most importantly, you've remembered how to see yourself fully, gently, and with the reverence you always deserved. And so now, standing in front of your mirror with new eyes, you realize that this journey wasn't really about lipstick at all. It was about learning to read the language of your body, whispered through shadows, colors, and light. It was about choosing to listen to what your skin has been gently telling you all along. And most of all, it was about reclaiming the quiet, everyday power to care for yourself with dignity and love. If today's reflection showed you something new, if it made you pause, reflect, or even feel a little braver, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with someone you care about, someone who might be struggling to see their worth through the lens of age. And in the comments, tell us, what does your mirror show you now? And what will you do differently tomorrow?